Welcome back, Rams, to another edition of CTV Sports. I'm Mike Walsh.
Once again, I'm stoked to be on desk tonight. I'm AJ Fredrikson.
Last but not least, of course, I'm Hunter Strand, and here's what we got on tap for you tonight.
Rams basketball dominates against Memphis, but falls short of the Sweet 16 against Maryland.
Nonetheless, green and gold softball split games against UNLV and San Jose State, while tennis struggled to find their rhythm on the road.
All that and more right here at CTV Sports, which starts right now.
In one of the most eventful weekends ever for CSU basketball, we unfortunately have to start with some pretty bittersweet news.
That's right, Mike. After leading the Rams to a heartbreaking loss on Sunday, head coach Niko Medved has officially accepted the job at his alma mater, the Minnesota Gophers.
How you guys feeling about this? I'm not feeling too hot about this. I was very surprised when I saw this morning. I knew it was in the works, but I never thought this would happen this soon.
Well, the game just happened.
Yeah.
It was so soon. Yeah. I mean, you woke up and it had already he was already gone.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I
thought it was just crazy Minnesota at first. But
yeah.
Then you see his alma mater.
It's his alma mater. I do get why he wanted to do it, but just it feels almost hurtful to do it the day after you lose a 1-point game.
Yeah.
To go to the farthest CSU's ever gone. I mean, just it
day
hurts so
after
much.
a buzzer beater, how can you do that to
I mean,
us?
just the people that have been with Medved for all these years, it's got to hurt them more than anyone.
Oh, 100%. As tough as this news is, I think a lot of the Ram fans are happy for Medved as they wish him the best. He's here, what he has done to say on his farewell post to the Ram fans.
It's not very often that you get to live a life you dreamed about. Coming to Fort Collins and CSU as an assistant coach back in 2007 changed my life. I have been blessed to be part of a great rebuild as an assistant for 6 seasons and also as the head coach for the last 7. During our time in Colorado, Erica and I got married and have grown our family. We have met so many amazing people that we consider close, lifelong friends. Fort Collins is truly a special place, and being the head basketball coach at Colorado State has been one of the greatest honors of my life. The time has come, however, for me to take over at the University of Minnesota. Thank you to all the amazing players, coaches, fans, and staff who have made this journey unforgettable. The memories and relationships will last forever. Proud to be. And while obviously we are happy for him and appreciate all he did for us, this video I'm about to show you is just tough to watch. Take a look.
Hey, Gopher Nation, it's Niko Medved here. We're on the plane headed to Minneapolis. Can't wait to see all of you soon. Excited to get going. We'll be there tonight and look forward to seeing everybody soon. Go Gophers.
And obviously there's been posts since this, but I think that post just made people nauseous. Almost just seeing him not in the green and gold is just so weird for everyone.
Yeah, no, the second that I was sent it, I said, I can't even watch that. I mean, I don't even, it's so close to the game, I don't even want to see
There's
that.
been more too. There's been all the getting off the plane. He's doing his intro press conference talking about how excited he is. It just hurts as a Ram fan. I don't know how we're going to get over this so fast.
No, it's just crazy. I mean, wake up and he's just gone like that. It just doesn't.
Especially, and he might take some players with him.
Oh,
So
I know he's already
Yeah.
taken some coaches. I think he's taken 3 assistant coaches as of now. He might take more. Again, the players. We have to retain some of those
I think he's
players.
definitely taking content.
It just hurts.
It hurts. For sure. We go on and on about how this is tough, this news is to accept, but at the end of the day, the Rams still played in March Madness.
No, they did.
Yeah, Hunter, and they left their mark, taking a huge upset win over the 5-seeded Memphis. Beating the Tigers 78-70, it was all things Rams in the second half after a pretty even first 20.
An even first 20 minutes indeed, as the Rams were actually down 5 coming out of the break. But of course, the Rams did come out on top thanks to a 47-point second half, and a special thanks to Kyan Evans for his career-high night with 23 points and 6 three-pointers.
Yeah, Mike, Evans stole the show for the Rams, but this was really a team effort as 4 out of the 5 starters scored in the double figures. Mike, AJ, how are you guys feeling about this one?
I mean, after this one, I was feeling really good. I still saw the matchup was either going to be Grand Canyon or Maryland. I know those are 2 tough teams, obviously. We got Maryland, but right after this game, I think all Ram fans are feeling good.
No, I thought after the Mountain West Championship, I knew, like, hey, we're going on a run. And I thought we'd come out hot against Memphis, and we did.
It was a good draw, honestly. Memphis, they had some hurt players. I won't lie about that, but they were a good team that got a way too high of a seed, in my opinion. So I was feeling pretty good about that.
Way too high. When Louisville gets an 8, Memphis should not have gotten a 5. So it was a great draw, and we took advantage for the most part.
Yeah, but I think most Ram fans probably agreed that it was going to be a tough matchup with the Terps, and tough it was, as this one came down to the final seconds. Seeing the Rams play neck and neck all game, it was a little bit of everything, from some huge three-pointers courtesy of Lake and Evans to some crucial defensive plays from the entire team. But as I said, it was really a matter of seconds that decided this game.
Yeah, it was, Mike, and this was the shot that made all Rams think, wow, we might actually be going to the Sweet 16. Jalen Lake off the crazy cross-court pass from Neat Clifford drains it. One of the biggest shots of his life.
Unfortunately, though, to no avail, as the Rams just gave Maryland too much time. The Terps star freshman Derek Queen took the ball, drove to the hoop. I'm pretty sure we all know what happened right after that.
Yeah.
Made a tough shot look really easy.
For sure. It was a silencer for Rams fans across the country, and I could thank all of us for it here on desk.
Yeah, I think all of us watching that I don't think we said anything as soon as we saw it go down. I mean, you look at it here,
After that
tough.
Wisconsin game, I was just expecting that at that point. And
Yeah, but this is the first buzzer beater on March Madness, so I think a lot of people were happy.
Yeah.
that we at
Yeah,
least got a
100%.
close finish there. I think we kind of have to talk about this fact of, was it a travel?
Yeah.
Was it a carry? Because that's what people are saying online. People are saying they're taking CSU. We're making CSU go viral for this.
Right.
So what do you guys think?
Yeah.
Was it a carry?
I'm thinking, I was watching it live. I didn't think it was a carry.
Okay.
I watched it live. I'm like, oh, that's a travel. But online, when I saw it, I was like, oh, maybe he did travel.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have called it in that situation.
By the college rules, it is a carry, but in that scenario, I mean, how can you call that? It's a game-winning shot. He hit a crazy shot.
I won't lie. I was watching it. I had the same reaction. I didn't think that it was a travel. I didn't say in my head, oh, wow, he might have traveled there. I waited until I got on Twitter and I saw people posting and saying this was a travel. I was like, if it really was a travel, like a obvious travel, I think I would have seen it real time and been
Right.
like, I think that's a travel.
Yeah.
I don't think it was obvious enough for
It
anyone
wasn't.
to really complain about it. I know as CSU fans, we want to complain about it,
of
obviously.
course.
But you guys are both saying we're not calling it.
Not calling it.
Not
calling
in
it
that
for it.
situation. You can't call
That's
it.
that's fine. No, I like it, but I think people were really upset online when the question was asked, would you have called a carry? I mean,
Yeah.
everyone. Honestly, there was celebrities talking about it. There was everyone talking about it.
Twitter really thought it was. Charles
Yeah.
Barkley on TNT, he thought
I
it
like
was.
I like
mean,
the support the Rams are getting
Right.
Yeah,
at the
that's
very
awesome.
least. But don't go anywhere just yet. When we come back, Brooklyn Martinez and Ella Fredrikson are here for more CSU athletic news. We'll be right back.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But you probably won't. You're busy. Kids, work, show coming back in 48 seconds. So let's do this now. Hold up one finger if you're a man, women, 0. 3 more fingers if you're over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40. If you're not sure, keep in mind you're sitting on a couch right now, so 1 more finger if you're not very active. 1 finger if yes, 0 if no. 1 yes, 0 no. Next, find the body type that looks most like you and hold up that many fingers while I look around awkwardly. And that's it. If you're holding up 5 fingers or more, you probably have prediabetes. Sorry to be so blunt, but hey, you're busy. Just go to the site.
Colorado State softball sure had their hands full over the spring break, with games against UNLV and San Jose State here at Ram Field. The Rams took on a 3-game series against the UNLV Rebels, ending their weekend with a 3-1 win, respectively. With the walk-off home run thanks to Abby Edwards, the Rams had ended their weekend 2-1 against Lady Rebels, with the win 9-5 and falling short Saturday afternoon in a hard-fought battle 19-20. With the loss, the Rams had totaled 7 hits, with Lauren Stuckey had their first RBI of the game, scoring Kaylin English in the first inning. Pitching her second full game of the game series, Reagan Wick made her 3rd appearance of the weekend in the circle. The sophomore ace only allowed 6 UNLV hits and 1 earned run. With only 1 Rebel earned run, came in a leadoff home run to start the game. Wick was able to secure 6 strikeouts to lock down the Rebels. On the other hand, the Rams competed against San Jose State in California, and the Rams had lost more than they had won, going 1-2 on the weekend. The Rams had lost 0-1 and after a long 7 innings, 6-9, making their only win of the weekend on Sunday, finishing with a 3-0 victory. Wick threw her 12th complete game of the season Sunday, making that her 3rd complete game shutout, only allowing 4 hits and 0 walks in 26 batters faced, while recording 5 strikeouts on her way to win the matchup with 94 total pitches thrown in Game 3. Offensively, the Rams struggled scoreless until the Rams were able to find rhythm and secure a 3-1 run rally, with hits from Jaylee Wilson, Carolina Buffalo, Kira Smith, and Morgan Coleman. Defensively, the Rams obtained 3 assists from shortstop Jordan West, and 9 putouts from Wilson at first, all thanks to Wick's total 7 forced ground outs. Rams softball now sit at .500 in the Mountain West and 3-3 heading into the third weekend.
The Colorado State women's tennis team wrapped up its road trip through California with a 0-4 loss to San Jose State on Sunday, falling to 1-3 in the Mountain West play and 3-12 overall for the season. The Rams continued their strong play in doubles but couldn't secure the crucial point. The top tandem of Sarah Weekly and Victoria Rektichenko picked up a 6-4 victory, but the number 2 pairing of Victory Zadazhinskaya and Diana Lazarzia came up just short, losing in a tiebreaker 7-6. With a singles forfeit already on the board, San Jose State quickly sealed the match with a pair of straight set wins, including a clinching victory at the number 1 position. Chuk is ranked 118th nationally, and despite the overall result, Colorado State showed fight with Zadazhinskaya and Logan Vokes, each taking their opening sets at number 2 and number 3 singles, respectively. The Rams will look to bounce back as they return home for their next conference matchup.
Colorado State delivered a strong performance on day 1 of the 35th annual Duck Invitational, finishing 4th with a team score of 281. The Rams were led by Christoph Blair, who fired an impressive 64, placing him in a tie for second individually. Jake Rogers and Matthew Wilkinson each shot 72, landing them in a tie for 28th, while Jay Pabin posted a 73 to sit at T39. Alessandro Trenza wrapped up the team score with a 76, tied for 68th. After day 2 completing the Invitational tied for second place, 7 under par alongside Wyoming. The Rams opened up a 3 under par first round, followed by an even par second round, and closed with a 4 under final round to secure their position.
Coming up for the green and gold, Rams softball welcomes the Utah State Aggies to Fort Collins for a 3-day, 3-game series,
followed by another home game on Sunday against the Montana Grizz. While that's happening, tennis will hope to bounce back against both UNLV and San Diego State.
Men's golf starts the Stanford Intercollegiate Tournament on Thursday, with the women in the Chattanooga Classic on Friday.
In more Fort Collins events, the annual Jack Christiansen Invitational begins for track and field, hoping to continue their spring hot streak.
For updates on all of these, tune in next week. When we come back from the break, more March Madness.
After 2 years?
You gotta be kidding me! Okay, no.
Robbie.
Seriously, do you have anything you can use against the dragon? I can do fireball, that'll do a lot of damage. Yeah, to all of us!
Well,
We're in a 4-foot group!
I'm sorry, what else do you want me to do?
Okay.
Hold on. All right. Wizard. You gonna roll?
Welcome back from the break. Here at CTV, we have been competing with our own created brackets, and through the second round, here's where everyone sits. I don't think it's good for anyone, is it? Oh, no, sorry, you're really good.
I've been
good.
doing well. I made a joke before the tournament even started saying this was my year for a perfect bracket. Obviously, that was not the case.
It's looking good, though, yeah.
I was happy with my performance through the second round. I'll take the losses that I had. You know, obviously, I wasn't going to call Clemson or a couple of these other ones. But I did have some of the bigger wins, and I'm still confident that Florida could win the whole thing. So, my max points are there. Unfortunately, not the same luck for you guys.
No.
I forgot Florida as my champ, too.
You can still win.
Yeah,
is,
I got
is
my
what
Final
we're saying,
Four in there. I got
right?
Michigan making a run.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, you're
So.
still relying on Michigan and Florida for those points.
Badgers just disappointing. Just per usual. It seems like an every year thing for Badger fans. Just always disappointing. I thought this was the year. I'm like, this is our best offense in years. Sorry, I shouldn't say our. This was Wisconsin's best offense in years, and they still couldn't get it done. It hurts. It hurts to watch every year.
That was my next thought, was obviously one bracket buster, specifically hit very close to home here at CTV for both Mike and Hunter. Wisconsin season came to a heartbreaking end on Saturday night. falling to BYU out of all teams. I didn't necessarily see that one coming.
No.
They just couldn't miss.
No.
And when a team can't miss, they're on fire like that. There's no taking
And
them
look,
down.
Tanjay by himself pretty much kept that one close,
Yeah.
but just it wasn't enough. Again, BYU just has these guys. They just come out here and make shots. You've never heard their name all year.
No.
They just come out here and make shots. It doesn't make a
Got
lot of sense to me.
26-year-olds making threes and send us home. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, come
But
on.
again, John Tanjay delivered a historic
The
performance.
best in Badger history.
Scoring 37 points,
Yeah.
the most by a Badger in tournament history,
Yeah.
including 22nd in that second half to fuel that furious comeback. Just insane.
Yeah.
They were trailed by 14 in the second half and over 11 with two minutes remaining. Wisconsin stormed back with an 11-2 run,
Yeah.
but their game-tying shot at the buzzer just came up short. Pretty short. I mean, they airballed there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it wasn't really close.
Not the
I was
prettiest
there
shot of the
live. I
game.
was like, dude, let's get Tanjay
gonna
downhill.
say,
Let's
yeah.
take it to the corner. 3. Let's go home. Let's get it to the Sweet 16. But
Yeah, unfortunately, Hunter
Just could
wasn't on
not
the
happen.
whiteboard.
Yeah,
It just
they
didn't work out
needed
for
him
him.
drawing up plays. I don't know what they were doing having someone else down there. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But we got to switch it up. So another one that very few saw coming was John Calipari.
He did it.
I wouldn't say few. I wouldn't say few almost, just because John Calipari is a legend.
Yeah.
He's always winning
He
games.
outcoached him.
I know he has been winning games in March with his former team recently, but
Yeah.
heading to the Sweet 16, leading Arkansas to a 75-66 win over St. John's, one of my Final Four teams
Yeah,
in
I
St.
mean,
John's.
Billy Richmond III, absolutely unstoppable. He was
We
the
know.
biggest reason Arkansas ended up taking that game. I know AJ was on that train, Woo Pig Suey all the way through.
Yeah.
Out of all the teams for them to knock out, though,
It had to be Patino.
I was gonna.
We also knocked out Bill Self in the first round. So just two legendary
Yeah.
coaches he's knocking out just right away.
I was going to say, if you want to talk about runs,
Yeah.
Arkansas is a team
Yep.
that is practically unstoppable right now, just in
Yeah.
terms of the momentum that they have underneath their belt going into the
Getting their
Sweet
star
16.
player back,
Yeah.
too. so.
I was just going to say, coming off an injury, he's looked good. You
Yeah.
would never know he was
100%.
out.
Right.
Came in, no obstacles.
Yeah.
Like he's
No,
been there the whole
I
time.
agree.
Third game of the night that we didn't really see coming. One
Yeah.
of the biggest media stories too.
Yeah.
McNeese and Clemson.
I won't
Clemson
lie.
went down. Weren't that shocked?
Yeah, I was not that shocked.
Really?
I
Yeah.
like Will Wade. He's put up good records these last 2 years. I thought he was going to win his first round game in March Madness last year. Obviously, he didn't.
Yeah.
But he won this game, and he's put together just two insane seasons with McNeese. Obviously, that's why he's getting that job with NC State.
Yeah.
But, I mean, just pulled off a historic upset over that number 5 seeded Clemson, 69-67. For their program, McNeese's first program win ever.
Ever.
in
Ever
the
in
NCAA
tournament.
tournament. It's got to hurt, though, to see your coach leave just straight
Yeah.
away.
Yeah, no, that, I mean, we know that.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
know
we
that
know
feeling
it
now.
firsthand.
What that's going through now.
Right.
Yeah, the 12-5s of this tournament really were ones that could have gone either way.
Yeah.
Clemson was the team I was hoping to draw if it wasn't
Yeah.
for Memphis, because
Agreed.
I think they were the most beatable. So not necessarily the biggest surprise of the tournament, but obviously a bracket buster
Yeah.
for a lot of
No,
people. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, after last year, I did not have McNeese going far enough. I mean, everybody was like, McNeese over Gonzaga, and they got blown out by 30, I think. So
Not enough people knew the name to even give them the credit they deserved
Right.
going, especially not as a double-digit seed. At a certain point, people don't look past 10,
Right.
for doing much in the tournament.
Right.
Rightfully so, a lot
Agreed,
of the time.
agreed.
Yeah.
that kid with the beatbox was more popular than
I was-
anybody on that
I think
team.
he's
Like,
going
they-
with them to NC State. I think
He has
he's-
more NIL
giving it
deals
them.
now.
Over $100,000, and you can't even name a guy on McNeese. It's
Right.
ridiculous.
I can name their coach, though.
Yeah, right,
You
exactly.
can't even name a player
Coach,
over
Amir
McNeese.
Khan, I think is his name. The guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the Cowboys came out absolutely swinging. Just a commanding finish,
Yep.
commanding
Yeah.
start through that entire game. Going into the second round, luck was not the same.
Yeah.
The defense didn't pull through nearly as much.
For sure.
But it made them look, the Tigers like we were.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
there.
think they had a really, what was his name? Brandon Murray, I think it was.
Brandon Murray,
Yeah.
Yeah. Brandon Murray, he led the charge.
21 points,
Yeah.
including 14 in the first half.
Yeah.
And,
That's pretty good.
While Chris Schuma added 13 points and 11 boards.
Just so we know, Clemson scored 13 that first half.
Yeah.
Just so
13
everyone
point
knows.
total.
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to
Yes.
say.
Clemson, yeah.
They struggled early, obviously.
Yep.
Came back roaring. We mentioned the comeback, but just out of time in the final minute. When you let something like that happen so early, you lose all that momentum. There's just
That's
not really
going to
a chance
hurt
to
them
grow.
for a while as a Clemson basketball program. Honestly, they had a really good year, and that's just a tough end to it.
Yeah.
But now, looking ahead, AJ is back with his top lines to keep an eye on going into the Sweet 16. AJ, take it away.
Thanks, guys. I think we all agree the Sweet 16 wouldn't quite be as sweet without the best upcoming betting lines of the week. Starting it off with the Razorbacks that just upset St. John's, they head to San Francisco to meet an injury-riddled Texas Tech team. Arkansas has quietly covered the spread in 3 straight now. They play a small Texas Tech team that they should out-hustle and out-rebound, giving Arkansas to win outright. Moving on to the Big Ten regular season champion, Spartans, giving only 2.5 points to one of the more underrated teams in the SEC with Ole Miss. The Rebels completely dismantled Iowa State in their 91-78 win over the Cyclones, while Michigan State pulled away from New Mexico late to avoid the upset. With the way Michigan State has been playing, I can see how the Rebels are underdogs in this game, but I'll take Chris Beard's Ole Miss team in the points. Duke has continued to dominate everyone in their path, except they haven't gone against talent and size like Arizona has in a long time. Arizona should not be 9-point underdogs in this game. I'll take them with the points. Lastly, what I think is the most complete team in Houston, laying 8.5 points against a good, not great Purdue team. They shouldn't have a problem winning by 10+ in this game. When we come back from the break, a new face joins us to discuss our Sweet 16 pick'ems. We'll be right back.
Living with someone you don't know on the other side of the wall is hard, especially if you don't know how to be a good roommate. The first thing that you'll want to do to be a good roommate is make sure that you always stay quiet. Be considerate of others when using common spaces and appliances.
Hey buddy, what you doing?
I'm just gonna need like 40 minutes. Be respectful of your roommate's privacy. Ugh, my bad. Finally, make sure that you clean up after yourself. Oh, a fresh toothbrush.
Have you seen my toothbrush?
Follow these tips to get along with your roommates and your landlord.
Welcome back from the break, Rams. This rapid-fire 8-game slate will not only have a huge outcome on our brackets, but more importantly, our pick'em scores. To kick off the Sweet 16, we of course go to BYU versus Bama. BYU, a team we were just talking about. AJ, I'll start with you.
I've been rolling Tide all season. I think the pace that they play with, I know the total is really high with BYU. I think Bama's good in those games. Those are the types of games that Bama wants to play, is the high-scoring, high-paced games, and I think they get it done.
Yeah, I think the same thing here. Bama, I mean, the total's over 170. They're 3-0 against the spread. I don't see a way, and just praying on BYU's downfall here.
Yeah,
I want Bama to beat them by 40, but I think it'll be a little close, but I think Bama will just pull away at the end. Just too much offense.
They have a lot of offense.
Yeah, Saunders with great threes, going to shoot a lot. They got to slow the pace down for BYU. Alabama's offense, they play fast, they play tenacious. They're going to try to speed it up, and they got to stop
But
that.
you're going Bama.
I'm still going Bama.
Okay. Now, see, I'm going to go with the upset here. I saw what they did to Wisconsin.
Come on.
Saw what they did to Wisconsin, and Wisconsin was a top offensive team. You're looking at the same thing here in Bama. And Bama, I know their last game against St. Mary's, they looked pretty good. But their first game, they looked shaky. They looked shaky against a not good team.
Robert Morris did look good, though.
I know they looked good, but against Alabama, they probably shouldn't look that good.
Yeah.
So they're playing a team here in BYU that, again, they probably should be beating. But I think BYU is just kind of that upset team that I think they can do it again. They had the experience. I mean, I think this Richie Saunders guy is like 26 years old. He was his fourth tournament for that guy. I mean,
we got in BYU too long.
Yeah, the whole team. But I don't know. I think this is the upset. I don't think Alabama is going farther than this round or next round. So they either lose this round or they lose next round.
I could see it happen. I could see it.
High scoring for sure. High scoring for sure. I mean, the Bama or the BYU Wisconsin one was high scoring. So I think it'll be pretty much the same thing. I just think BYU comes out on top again. What do you guys think about this next one, though? I think this is a little more easy to pick. We got Arizona versus Duke.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people aren't high on Arizona. A lot of people are high on Duke. They've been number one for a while now.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think, Arizona and Duke actually played this year in Arizona. Duke beat them by 17.
Yep.
I mean, now it's a neutral site. Duke has looked great. Arizona, they look good against Oregon, but not great. So I think Duke, honestly, is going to win this game by 20. I mean, it's just another dominant Duke performance.
I think Duke will win the game for sure, but I think Arizona will keep it close. I think this is definitely competition they haven't seen in a long time, and I think it'll be a close game, closer than people think.
I think Duke's one of those teams that they have to beat themselves in order to lose. I don't see Arizona at their best beating Duke at their best. It's just if Duke doesn't play well. Flag and Proctor have been going off, so I'm going Duke.
That's what it's going to take, is either a Flag or a Proctor or someone like Knipple, someone getting hurt and this team just not being able to have the firepower to beat them. But saying that doesn't happen, I'm thinking Duke all the way, if everyone's playing.
I mean, R.J. Lewis was the player of the year, and then suddenly he's 3 for 17, so you never know. I'm not saying that could happen to Flag, but you never
I do
know.
agree, though, this isn't the Arizona team that lost to that 15 seed Princeton a few years ago. This is not that Arizona team. I think they'll keep it close. I think Caleb Love has revenge on his mind.
He has
Legacy game.
I think he'll have a good game, but I still think they lose. I just think Duke is there's too much offensive firepower for them.
Well-rounded.
No, this next game, Maryland versus Florida. I mean, I want to know what you guys think, because I think Maryland matches up really well. I think they'll keep it close. I got Florida winning, but I think it's going to be a close
I was a bit
game.
surprised here that we all kind of went with Florida here. I did think Maryland might get a pick here, but again, they didn't look amazing. Again, I know they played CSU, so I don't want to shoot down CSU, but they barely beat a team like CSU. Florida's the #1 team. They've been playing well for a while. I think they have the most clutch basket maker in college basketball, and Walter Clayton. If you watch that UConn game, anytime they needed a shot, he's hitting it from pretty much anywhere he wants. I just don't see why this Maryland team, anywhere in the game, if it gets to a close game late, they can't beat this Florida team.
They would need to shoot the lights out.
Right.
What do you think, Hunter?
Yeah, I think Florida dominates in this game. Like you said, Maryland needs a last second, like off the bank to win. So Florida's just a better team in this one. And like you said, they have Walter Clayton. I think they got woken up a little bit by UConn. You know, they dominated against their 16 seed. Got woken up a little bit by UConn. I think they come out and dominate.
For sure.
Duke's definitely one of the, or Florida, is another one of those teams like Duke that will only have to beat themselves if they want to lose.
Yeah.
I'm expecting an offensive clash. I see both teams just going at it, dropping threes.
Yeah.
But I'm picking Florida.
I will say the biggest thing for Maryland all year long has been their depth. And the thing that Florida has is depth. Every time I watch their games, they have a different 7-footer checking into the game.
Yep.
It feels like they have 4 7-footers that just rotate constantly between those 4 front court positions. I don't see how there's any world that Maryland can keep up with that just because they have no depth outside of that starting 5.
Speaking of size difference, the size of Arkansas has been pretty big so far. And now they play a pretty small Texas Tech team, so they match up pretty well. So what do you guys think?
I will say, though, JT Toppin does not play small. He plays very large. He's due for a 40-point game at any point. He's getting 15 rebounds a game. I'm going actually Texas Tech in this one. I think it's a bit of a surprise pick, but they're also favored. I think everyone's high in Arkansas right now, but I think Texas Tech has just been doing it for longer all year.
Even with their struggles in the tournament so far?
Oh, I think even with their struggles.
Yeah. I think they're getting the key guy back. They're going to wake up a little bit, and I just think they dominate Arkansas. I think Arkansas they haven't gotten lucky, but I just don't see Calipari getting to it.
I think he also needed to win those 2 games against those 2 legendary head coaches. I don't think he has that kind of fire under him for this type of game.
Now they're getting healthier, though. They're getting healthier, and Texas Tech, I mean, they might be without Chance. They're not getting as healthy.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be a good matchup, but I got to go with Arkansas.
I do think back to some of the games I saw from Texas Tech in the regular season where they're scoring the 100 points, the 115 points. That's the kind of game they're going to need. But I think that's the kind of game they get because they've kind of been, as you said, mild during this tournament, kind of just winning games where they need to. I think this is the game where they just kind of go off and maybe win by 10, 15 points.
Yeah.
DJ Wagner, legacy gaming coming up.
Yeah,
he's got to heat up. He hasn't been
so.
playing the greatest tournament so far, and I see him taking over.
Okay.
I got Arkansas as well.
Okay. All right.
Well, we got another game. We got Ole Miss versus Michigan State. I think Ole Miss is probably the hottest team right now in the tournament, just destroying Iowa State. What are your thoughts on these guys?
John?
I'm picking upset. I think Michigan State struggles offensively. I see Badula getting going early.
Okay.
I think Michigan State has to utilize the fast break and capitalize on the turnovers because Ole Miss doesn't really turn the ball over, but when they do, you got to capitalize. But I'm picking Ole Miss overall. What about you, AJ?
No, I mean, I think Michigan State's depth, I think they have the most bench points in the country, but Ole Miss has depth too. I mean, they've got one of the best 6 men in the country in Brakefield, so you can't sleep on Ole Miss's depth, and Chris Beard's a great coach, matches up with Izzo as well as you could want. So.
I think that's the effect I'm going for, though, is the Izzo effect. I mean, this is his 16th, I think, Sweet 16, which is just insane in itself. I think this team is probably one of the most athletic teams. I know what you said is true. Ole Miss doesn't turn the ball over, and that's where Michigan kind of needs to thrive. They're throwing Cohen Carr, those lob dunks that get the crowd going absolutely crazy. That's what they're going to need. But again, Ole Miss doesn't turn the ball over. I think in Michigan State, for them to win this, they have to shoot lights out, which they don't do very often. They don't do very often. They're going to need a perfect game, but I think this is the type of team that they have that perfect game against.
They need to shoot, like, Ole Miss plays great against Iowa State, and
Yeah.
that's a team that doesn't shoot the three ball well. Michigan State doesn't shoot it well, so I
right.
can see Ole Miss blowing them out. But
Let's
next
go-
game, we have
another
another
Michigan, yeah.
another Michigan game. We got Michigan versus Auburn. What are your guys' thoughts on this?
I think this one's a little easier for me just because I do like Auburn a lot right now. I think they match up well. I know they got the 2 7-footers on Michigan, but I think Joni Broom can match up with either of those guys and kind of go at them. I think Auburn just has a more complete team, but again, I can't stop doubting Michigan. I'm going Auburn, but I keep doubting Michigan. They keep surprising me.
No, Bruce Pearl said it. He said they're going to have to worry about our big men, too.
Yeah.
So Dylan Cardwell, Janai Broom.
Yep.
I mean, Michigan does have 2 7-footers, but it's not like Auburn's big men are not very good.
Yeah.
I mean, they're studs, too.
I'm going to go with Michigan in this one. I got them going to the Final Four in my bracket. I was able to watch them live this past weekend twice, and I think if they just get those 7-footers going, they're going to dominate this game. And I think Auburn hasn't really looked the best. I think they're the weakest 1 seed over there, even though they're number 1 overall.
All right, John, quick pick.
So I'm going Michigan too. Golden and Wolf
Too
getting
good?
early, and then that's going to free open opportunities.
All right.
Give me Michigan.
I like it. Let's go to the next one. We're going Purdue versus Houston. I think, are you guys all going Houston here?
We all have Houston, right?
Oh, okay. I guess I'll make my argument for Purdue here. I think Purdue has got one of the top scorers that no one talks about in Kaufman and Wren. I watched their game their second game in the tournament. He just kept making shots. It was really not a game they had. Braden Smith, one of the top passers in the country. I think if anyone beats this Houston team at their own game, it's Purdue. It's where you're passing the ball, you're being efficient. Again, I think Houston's a super physical team, but I got to go Purdue.
Yeah, I just worry about Houston in the final 5 minutes. They do not score in the final 5 minutes for some reason. So, but I'm going to Houston this one. They should dominate Purdue.
They're going to have to change that if they're
Yeah.
going to want to beat Purdue.
Yep.
I'm just not a fan of Kaufman Wren. I think Houston's going to be real physical with them.
That's all right.
Push him out of his comfort zone. And they shoot lights out. One of the best shooting teams in the country.
All right, let's go to the last one. We'll do quick picks here. We got Kentucky versus Tennessee. AJ, who you got?
I got Kentucky. I mean, they've already beat them twice. I'm not going to make the mistake the third time.
Yeah.
They've looked good whenever they play Tennessee, so why would I not take them?
I think this Tennessee team is hot, though. I think Ziegler's peaking at the right time. I think Linier's peaking at the right time. I think this is a good team.
Yeah, Tennessee, you can't beat a team 3 times, in my opinion. So I'm going to go.
You learn from it.
Going with you boys. I'm going Tennessee.
Tennessee. All right, AJ, close
On
us
my
out.
own with Kentucky. That's all we've got for you tonight, Ram fans. Join us next week for a very special April Fool's edition of CTV Sports. Have a great rest of your night, and we'll see you then.